No, we are not able to hear you.
Your voice is not audible.
చట్నీ బాగాలేదు ఓయమ్మ నా వల్ల కాదు నాకు కూడా ఇయ్యాలి.
जीतने की कला आ गई तब समझना कामयाब हो तुम और ना पहचान कामयाबी की.
No, still we are not able to hear you.
Unmuted inverse you are unmuted.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Guys, can you able to hear me now? Okay, thank you. Sir, please make me presenters. Hello. Okay, screen is my screen is visible, guys, right? Okay, thank you. No, we are no. I think I can just restart. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys. So before going to discuss about the DevOps, so let's discuss how the I think my voice is recording, right? So in order to develop any of the software in a real time, we used to use a one lifecycle test, okay? That is called as a SDLC. Right? That is a software development lifecycle. Okay. In the earlier days, we used to use waterfall model. Is it audible now? Okay, thank you. So in the earlier days, guys, we used to use a waterfall model. Okay, guys, please mute.
Ricky's
Okay, so let's discuss some of the basic things. Okay, so how the software used to be developed in a real time. Okay, using waterfall model, guys. Okay, so let's say you are working for any one of the organization. Okay, assume you are working for Deloitte. Okay, and your client is like HDFC Bank or something. Okay, so what these guys will do initially, they will set up a one meeting with them. Okay, and they will take the requirements. Okay, the first phase in the waterfall model is called as the requirement phase here. Okay, the first phase in the waterfall model is called as the the first phase in the waterfall model is called requirement phase, guys, right? So under this phase, what our developers, our business analysts will do, they will set up a one meeting with them. Okay, and they will set up a one meeting with them, and they will take the requirements here. Okay, the first is, and here they will make a one documentation here. Okay, and we call this one as a HLD, that is the high level documentation we are going to make. Okay, so once we got the requirement, the next phase is called as the design phase. Okay, so the next phase is called as what? Design phase. So under this design phase, okay, our business, what do you call, the developers and tech leads will involve here, okay, and they will uh, try to solve the problem, okay, how we can achieve the client requirement here, okay. So and here they will make a one documentation, that is a SRS we say, that is a system requirement specification, okay, system requirement specification. Once the designing is ready, guys, okay, what we will do? So this, the what do you call it, tech leads will give this task to the whom? The developers, right? So what the developers will do here? So the developers will start writing the code. Okay. So the next phase is called as the coding. So who is going to perform this task? Our developers. Okay, who is going to perform this task? Our developers will, sorry, our developers will perform the coding here. So once the coding is done, what is the next phase then? Sorry. Okay, good, Amit. Yeah, once we have done the testing part, okay, so somebody has to assure this, right? So this code is working fine and it doesn't have any of the issue here, right? So what we will do, the next phase in the waterfall model is called as the testing phase. Okay, testing phase. So who is going to perform this testing? The test engineers or a QA team. Okay, QA stands for quality assurance. Okay, once the QA team assures that this code is having, so this application is having no issues. Okay, so what we need to do, what is the next process after the testing is done? We are going for the deployment of the code to the end users. Okay, so the next phase is called as the deployment. Okay, deployment of the code. So once the deployment is ready, okay, somebody has to maintain this application, right? Because one or the other issue may come, right? So like a user login, new user came, so like that. Okay, so the next phase, okay, in the waterfall model is called as the maintenance phase. Okay, what do you call maintenance phase, guys, here? Okay, so this is what the rough scratch, okay, rough scratch of the, or a rough design of the waterfall model here. Okay, if you observe this waterfall model, okay, so what are the things that you can see here, right? Okay, so let's say if you are, assume you are a developer, okay, you have wrote the code, okay, so till you get the requirement from the tech leads, okay, you will be sitting idle here, right? Okay, so in the same manner, okay, once the tech leads gives the task to you, he will be sitting idle. Okay. At the meantime, this test engineers and admin guys and the supporting team guys, so these guys will also be sitting idle here. So that what happens? Resource utilization is less here. Okay. So what happens with the waterfall model? Resource utilization is less. Okay. What happens? Resource utilization is less here. Then okay, so in order to complete this entire life cycle, guys, okay, what is the duration here, right? So the duration of this waterfall model is, okay, it's roughly around 6 to 8 months. Okay, it's roughly around how many, what is the duration? It's around 6 to 8 months to complete one project, guys. Okay, then. So what are all the phases you are doing right now? Here you can see, right? All these things are happening manually. Okay, so this is most important, that is deployment is manually.
What are the tickets?
Sorry, Okay, deployment is manual, guys, in a waterfall model. Then what else, guys? So let's say in this life cycle, okay, post deployment here, okay, if you come to know there is some issue, there is some bug, okay, in order to go back, okay, it is not easy here, correct? Okay, it is quite easy, it is quite difficult to debug the bugs. Post deployment, okay, right? And one more thing here, we will take the requirement in a single shot. Okay, so I will show you one picture for that. Okay, so as you can see this one, right? So this is the one figure, it will be easy to understand. So like this, we will get the one big requirement like for us in order to develop our application. Okay, so this is what happens with our waterfall model, guys. Okay, so now, okay, in order to overcome this issue, guys, okay, with the waterfall model, DevOps comes into the picture. Okay, so what is this DevOps? Okay, if you split these two words, okay, DevOps, okay, so Dev stands for development, okay, and whereas Ops stands for operations. Ops stands for operations. So what exactly the DevOps is? Okay, so what DevOps is, guys? So DevOps is not a new strategy, guys, here. Okay, DevOps is a new way of developing your application. Okay, so what DevOps is, two teams collaboratively work together is known as DevOps, guys. Okay, so what DevOps means, two teams, that is a development and operations. These two teams collaboratively works together, so that is called as the DevOps, guys. Okay, then so DevOps is not any new tools here. Okay, so DevOps is not a new tool here. DevOps is a new strategy of developing the applications. Okay, and deployment is automated. Okay, so how we are doing this one? Okay, in order to in our DevOps operations, we used to follow agile methodology. We used to follow agile methodology. In the agile methodology, we used to use sprints, okay, or iterations. Okay, so sprints or iterations in the agile methodology. Okay, the duration of each sprint is 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, whereas in a waterfall model, it was around 6 to 8 months, guys, right? Now with the agile methodology, it's of only 1 to 2 weeks, guys. Okay, then most important, deployment is automated. Okay, deployment is automated. One more thing, and here we'll take the requirement in a small modules. Okay, deployment requirement will take it in a small module size. Okay, let me show you. One more picture at top. Yes, this is the one. Okay, in earlier one you can see, right? So it was having a huge requirement. Now in the agile methodology, what we are getting, like a small modules, we will get the requirements. Okay, and our developers will start working on a small models, and it will become a one big application for us. Okay, right. Now let us discuss one more thing. In the agile methodology, okay, most of the tools are open source. Okay, most of the tools are open source tools, guys. Okay, that means you no need to purchase a license in order to use the our application, not our application, the DevOps tools, guys. Okay, so let's discuss how we can do this automation now. Okay, using DevOps. Okay, so let's take a new page. Okay, so assume we have a developers. Okay, like these 3 developers we have. Okay, like this we have a 3 developers. So what these developers will do, these developers will write the code, right? Okay, so let's say, so we have a ABC developers. Okay, now assume that the developer A requires the code wrote by the developer C, okay, or developer B. Okay, how these guys will communicate here, right? So in a real time, guys, we are not supposed to share any of the source code, okay, using any of the communication medium, okay, either WhatsApp or Gmail or any other way of communication here. Okay, and if you perform such activities, then you will be fired, guys. Okay, so don't do such things. So in order to overcome this issue, what we are going to do is we are using the one repository for us in order to store the code. Okay, and we call it as a VCS. Okay, so VCS stands for version control system. So what VCS stands for? One second. Okay, VCS. So VCS stands for version control system. Okay, so example for this is git svn. Okay, then subversion, like many number of tools is there in the market. Okay, but these are the most important. So now what these developers will do, guys, so once the developer writes the code, so what he will do, he will push us that code to the this repository. Okay, so like the developers, what they will do, they will push us the code to the our one repository, that is the VCS, any of the VCS, that is the Git or Subversion or SVS, anything. Okay, but it should be a VCS. Fine. Now, guys, okay, so now assume that we have 3 developers. Okay, in a real time it will be having a number of developers will be there. Okay, right? So some developers might be the intelligent developer, guys, some might be the poor developer, right? Okay, but the organization wants to maintain some standards here. Okay, they don't want to take any risk in this one. Okay. Sorry. Okay, in order to overcome this issue, guys, we are using the Sonar Cube. Okay, what we are going to do, we are using the Sonar Cube in order to check the quality of the source code, guys. Okay, so what the developers will be wrote, right? So these code will be taken to the Sonar Cube. Okay, so this Sonar Cube will scan the entire source code wrote by our developers. Okay, and this Sonar Cube will generate a report for it. Okay, so once it is done, guys, now we have a, and one more thing, guys. Okay, now we have only the raw source code here, right? Okay, if you deploy this raw source code in your machine, okay, so that code is not going to be executed, or it is not going to be, we won't get the any output from that. Okay, in order to do that, what we are going to do, we are going to make this code as the executable code, guys. That means it is just like a, you have all the ingredients, okay, but you don't have a food. Now what we will do, you have to prepare the food, right? So for that, what we are going to do is we are using the one more tool here. Okay, so that tool is called as the build tool, we say. Okay, build tools. So example for this is ant, okay, maven and gradle. Okay, so example for this build tool is and maven and gradle. So what this build tool will do, using any one of these tools here. Okay, so these tools will create the artifacts. Okay, So what are the artifacts? Like a jar, then var and EAR. Okay, so jar stands for Java archives. Okay, var stands for web archives. Okay, then EAR stands for enterprise archives. Okay, so what we are going to do using this build tool, using any one of these tools, we are going to create these kind of artifacts, guys. Okay, if you are working for a Java based application, okay, if you are working for the .NET based application, then it will create a .zip files. Okay, here are like a .jar it is. Okay, sorry. Okay, for Java it will be .jar, .var, .var, whereas for the .NET project it will be like a .zip. Okay, fine then. Now what we are going to do, we are using the one more tool that is called as the build tool. Why we are using this build tool? In order to make the code as a executable code, guys, right? Okay, now so let's say guys, today I have deployed one of the today I have done the one of the deployments here. Okay, assume that okay, that deployment went wrong. Okay, and I want to revert that code back. Okay, how can I do that? Right, one method is we need, before doing the deployment, we need to take the code backup. Okay, but that is not a recommended way, guys, right? Okay, what we will do is we will use the one more tool here. Okay, that code tool we call it as the artifact repository. Okay, artifact repo. Example for this is Nexus. Okay, now what we are going to do is, so using this artifact repository, we are going to upload this artifacts to our artifact repository. Okay, so and what are the tools which I am mentioning, guys? All are open source only. 90% what are the tools we are using in the DevOps are open source. That means we no need to purchase any license to use those softwares. Okay, now comes the most important tool, that is the CI tool. Okay, CI tool. So the example for this is Jenkins. Okay, then Bamboo. Like a number of tools is there, guys. Like and Hudson, Jenkins and Hudson both are the same only. Okay, Jenkins is the open source, Hudson is the paid one. Okay, that is the difference. Now what we will do, guys, here in a Jenkins, we will create a one job. Okay, for every project. Okay, then what happens? So this Jenkins will connect to this VCS. Okay, that is a version control system. It will take that code, okay, and downloads to the Jenkins workspace. Okay, then what it will do, it will send that code to the Sonar Cube. Okay, in order to perform the quality of the source code. Okay, once the Sonar Cube assures that it is having the developer has maintained the standard in writing the code. Okay, then what it will do, it will send that code to the build tool. Okay, in order to make the code as a executable code, guys. Okay, so once it is ready, what the Jenkins will do, Jenkins will also send the artifacts to the artifact repository in order to keep backup of our artifacts, right? Now everything looks good, guys, right? Now we can go for the deployment. Okay, so for the deployment, we are using the Tomcat or Whitefly server, guys. Okay, Tomcat or Whitefly server. Okay, so with the Jenkins, we will integrate with the Tomcat or Whitefly server, guys. So what the Jenkins will do is, Jenkins will deploy the artifacts to our Tomcat or Apache server, guys. Okay, now this is what the architecture now, and most of the tools what we have used is open source only, right? We are not making any purchase of the license here, right? Okay, now if the application is simple application, guys, now what the architecture which I shown right now, okay, it's okay, okay, it works fine. Let's say if you have any critical application, guys, like net banking or any e-commerce application like a Flipkart or Amazon or any Snapdeal, okay, like that. Okay, if there is any critical application, guys, okay, what they will do is they will deploy their code in not in a one machine, they will deploy it in a n number of machines, guys. Okay, for my demonstration, let me check 2 or 3. Okay, okay, now how we are going to do the deployment, guys? Now, okay, if we use the same approach now, okay, then I need to create a 3 jobs for one project only, right? So this is not a recommended way, guys. Now what we will do is we will use the one more intermediate tool here. Okay, we call it as a configuration management tool. Okay, the example for this is Ansible. Okay, chef or perfect, right? Now what the Jenkins will do, so Jenkins will give the artifacts to the configuration management tool here. So this configuration management tool will deploy the artifacts into the destination, sorry, so this configuration management tool will deploy the artifacts to the destination machine in a single shot, guys. Okay, so that what happens, not even a single second our application goes down here, right? So this is what we are achieving using the DevOps concepts. Okay, fine, guys. So now comes the one of the most important tool, okay, that is the containerization tool. Okay, containerization tool. So what the name container here? Okay, the example for this is Docker, guys. Okay, so what we are going to do, so this Docker also we are integrating with the Jenkins here. Okay, so just using this Docker we can go for the deployment. Okay, so Docker is a containerization tool, guys. Okay, so what containerization in the sense here? Okay, so if you check in the highway, guys, you might be seeing the some of the big containers. Okay, under that containers they will be traveling the they are shipping the some of the goods, right, like vehicles, two-wheelers, four-wheelers, some other things also, right? Okay, here in the same concept here also. Okay, what this containerization tool it is happening here in the sense, okay, under single container you will be having your application, your database, your any other dependency files and everything. Okay, and the size of this Docker containers will be very less, guys, here. Okay, because of this very less size it is easy to ship the Docker containers. Okay, so shipping in the sense we are not shipping it to anywhere here. Shipping in the sense we are deploying this Docker containers in any of the machines like a Windows machine or a Linux machine or a Mac machine, right? Okay, the only prerequisite is the Docker engine must be up and running here. Okay, that is the only prerequisites in order to run the Docker containers. Okay, fine now. So now everything looks good, guys, right? Okay, now comes the one more tool, that is the monitoring tool. Okay, why we are using this monitoring tool here then? Okay, so let's say being a human being, it's not easy to go and check whether our application is working fine or no, right? For every minutes, right? So in order to overcome that issue, we are using this monitoring tool. Okay, so the task of this monitoring tool, okay, is to monitor our entire application as well as our infrastructure. Okay, so the task of this monitoring tool is to monitor our entire application as well as our infrastructure, guys. Okay, so then what this monitoring tool will do, so this monitoring tool will send the notification to the supporting team member. Okay, So this supporting team member will raise a ticket, okay, will raise a ticket using any one of the ticketing tool like a Jira or services or any other tool also, guys. There are n number of tools available in the market for raising the tickets. Okay. So once the monitoring tool sends the notification to the supporting team member, okay, if the issue is regarding with the application, then they will raise a ticket to the applicant developers. Okay, if the issue is with the infrastructure level, then they will raise a ticket to the DevOps engineers, guys. Okay, so then we need to come and check what exactly happened and we need to resolve this issue. Okay, so this entire process is called as the CI/CD process, guys. Okay, so let's recall one more time. So assume we have a developers, we have a 3 developers, and these developers will push us the code to the VCS, that is the version control system, guys. Okay. Now what we will do, we will integrate all these tools, okay, with the Jenkins here. So what the Jenkins will do is, Jenkins will automatically connect to the VCS, that is the version control system. Okay, it downloads the code and it sends to the, okay, it downloads the code and it sends to the Sonar Cube. Okay, so this Sonar Cube will scans the entire source code and it will generate a report. Okay, so once the Sonar Cube assures that, okay, we have a quality of the code. Okay, what we are going to do, we are going to this Jenkins will send the code to the build tool, that is the Ant, Maven or Gradle. Okay, using any one of the tool, we are going to create the artifacts. So what are all the artifacts? There is a jar, var, and EAR for Java based application, and .zip for the .NET projects. Okay, and then it will also send the artifacts to the artifact repository, that is the Nexus, guys. Okay, to keep the artifact backup. Okay, then for deployment purpose, we will send the artifacts to the configuration management tool, that is the Ansible or Chef or Puppet. Okay, so this configuration management tool will deploy the code in the destination, in our destination machine. Any number of count, guys, here. Okay, either 10 or 20 or whatever the value it is, in a single shot, it is going to do the deployment. Okay, so then comes the Docker as containerization tool. As the name suggests here, container. So under single container, we will be having all our application, our OS, dependency, database, everything in a one single container. Okay, and the size of this container is very less, guys. Okay, then comes the monitoring tool. Okay, the example for the monitoring tool is Nagios, and Nagios, Zabbix are like n number of monitoring tool is there in the market. We will teach on any one of those tools, guys. Okay, so this monitoring tool will send a notification to the supporting team member. Okay, so this supporting team member, based on the ticket received from the monitoring tool, if the issue is with the application end, then using any one of the ticketing tool, they will raise a ticket to the application team member, guys. Okay, if the issue is with the infrastructure level, then they will raise a ticket to the DevOps engineers, guys. Okay, then we need to look into it. Okay, so this entire process is called as a CI/CD process, guys. Okay, that is the continuous integration and continuous delivery. Okay, so any doubts, guys? Ramya, why should we go for multiple web servers for deployment of one product? It
Hello.
depends on architecture. Yes,
Sir, in DevOps, there is one more tool like Kubernetes. What is the purpose of that?
that is for
Tool?
cluster.
Okay. And what is the meaning of orchestration?
That is a grouping of our containers, we can say. Okay, or a group of nodes like a cluster. I don't know how to say in normal language, or also to grouping of our application or something. Okay,
In CI/CD, in this architecture, we will use Kubernetes cluster all that or not?
yeah, we will use okay, we will use the Kubernetes cluster as well.
Which is also linked with Jenkins. Or not?
Sorry, can you repeat your question? Why should you?
What part of AWS we are going to cover?
Yeah, I will come to the I will come to the next part. Okay, what are the syllabus which I'm going to cover? Okay,
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
okay, yeah, sure. So why should we go for the multiple web server for deployment for one project? Okay. See, if you are not using the multiple machines here, multiple instances here, okay. If you are using one application, only one machine, okay. Assume you are Amazon.com, okay. Unfortunately, assume that something happened to this machine, okay, and this machine goes down here, okay. So what will happen? The application goes down and it will impact on end users, and obviously your business goes down there, right? So in order to overcome that issue, so we are going to deploy the instance in a multiple machines. We are going to deploy our application in a multiple instances. Okay, hence we are deploying Manoj. Okay, why we use the Docker? Yeah, Docker is mainly used for the microservice architecture, guys. Microservice in the sense, okay, one function for one service it is. Let's say when you log in into your Amazon.com or anything, okay, you will find the pages. Okay, you will find the web pages, right? Like a sign up is different, your card, sign in, right? So those are all called as a one service here. Okay. So in the earlier days, if you want to do your upgradation of your application, right? So what they used to do is they used to down the entire application down and do their activity, and they used to make the application up again. Okay. So if you are using the microservice architecture using the Docker containers, okay, so only one particular service we can go take it down, do your activity and make the instance up. Okay. So that what happens, your application, not even a single second, your application goes down there. Okay. That is what the concept of using the microservice architecture. Okay. Then how backup works here. Okay. Example I told you, one second. How backup works. See, that is what I told you, right? You assume if you have done the deployment and if that deployment goes wrong, okay, you need the old backup, right? Okay. So for that purpose, we are using this artifact repository for backup purpose of our code. How it is notified that the server is down, system and signal ending before down. Okay, so all this signal goes down and everything will comes under the monitoring tool. So this monitoring tool will monitor our application as well as the infrastructure. Okay, then based
Hello,
on the alert.
hello.
Yeah,
Sir, I have one query here. So to maintaining the
yes.
code, we have version control system. So why should I go for artifact repository?
See, okay, in a VCS we have a, it is a raw source code. It is not a executable code here. Okay, and in this code you will be having the incremental updates. Okay, today assume that my developer today, assume yesterday. Okay, he has made some code and we have deployed it. Okay, and today also he work. What he will do? He will push us that code to the our VCS. That means he is having the updated code in the VCS now. Okay, if we deploy that code, okay, it may not work, may or may not be work, right?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. So in for a safer side, we are using this artifact repository for backup. Simple. Apart from this, it is not doing any extra task here.
Okay. You are saying day by day improvement of code that will be stored in VCS.
Yes, yes, yes. Whatever the raw source code will be there, it will be available in the VCS only.
Okay. But the entire deployment code will be stored in Artifactory.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, sir.
see,
Now I got it.
using this build tool, we are creating these kind of artifacts, right? Jar, var, and year. So these things will be available in the Nexus. Okay. So this it is
Okay.
not available in the VCS here.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. If you start triggering the job one more time, it takes a lot of time. Okay. Create the artifacts and do the deployment. It takes a lot of time. Okay. In order to, for a safer side, we are using this.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. I hope it is.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Sir,
Yes. Yes.
in configuration tool, we'll use Ansible, Shape, Puppet. What is the difference of that? Is all are the same or some? Which is
See,
best?
Shopify and Puppet are the outdated technology, guys. Okay. Ansible is in the market now. Okay. First thing. Second thing is Ansible is a push base, whereas the Chef or Puppet is a pull base here. You will come to know what is push base and pull base in our regular sessions. Okay. And most important, in a Chef or Puppet, we need to deploy the agents there, okay, in order to configure. Whereas in Ansible, there is no agents required. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Any other doubts?
One more question, sir. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, in DevOps, how much programming language required?
There is no programming language, guys. Okay. There is no programming at all here. In the openly saying, I am not a programmer. I don't know anything regarding programming here. Okay. For a DevOps engineer, we should think how we can automate the task here. Okay. Not the programming or something. Programming will be done by our developers. Okay, so each tool will be having their own script here. Script is not difficult here. Script is easy only. Okay, only in Jenkins and what do you call this Ansible we are writing the script. Okay, apart from that, the other tools have their own commands only. We should be thorough with the commands. Okay, there is no this one scripting here. Amit, account for this course is this necessary to create the AWS account. It's left to you people, guys. Okay. If you create it, it will be easy for you understanding in the real time how it will be.
Sir, you
And
will
it's a
cover
free of,
real-time scenarios also?
yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'll cover real time scenarios and real time project. Okay.
Okay.
And sorry guys, today it became very late. It's almost 10 minutes. Okay.
Sir, where it will come into the AWS, sir?
See, whatever the deployment we are seeing right now, this Tomcat and all, okay. So all this configuration we some of the organization they are putting it in a AWS. Some of them are using the VM. We are using VM in our organization. In my last organization, they are using this AWS.
Okay. Okay.
So AWS is having the physical servers, we are having the servers in the cloud. Okay, that is the difference. Apart from that, everything will be same only. Yes, sorry, somebody is asking something. Will DevOps tool be taught on Linux or Windows? You can take both also. What are the topics will be covered? I will come to the next topic then. That. Any other doubts, guys? Okay, the syllabus which I'm going to cover is here. Okay. Okay, first thing is it will be having the Linux. Okay, because all the instances or more in a real time it will be on a Linux machines only. Hence, I'm going to teach some of the basic concepts regarding the Linux. Then comes the VCS. So under VCS, I'm going to teach Git or GitHub. Okay, that is our VCS. Under build tool, I'm going to teach Maven. Okay, Ant is the outdated one, guys. Okay, Maven is in the market and Gradle is in the advanced one. Still nobody is using that. Okay, hence I'm teaching on a Maven now. Okay, then comes SonarQube. Okay, in order to check the quality of the source code, right? Then Nexus for keeping the artifact backup. Okay, then Jenkins for our CI tool. Then Ansible. Okay, for our configuration management tool, and will give brief description on Chef and Puppet. I'm not going to teach this Chef and Puppet, guys. Just some of the information I'm going to give here. Okay, Ansible. Then what else? Yeah, Tomcat for deployment, as well as Wildfly. Okay, Wildfly or JBoss both are same. It has been renamed, guys. Okay. Then Docker for containerization tool, then Zabbix, okay, for monitoring. Everybody used to teach the Nagios guys. Okay, I'm teaching Zabbix. I'm in my organization also. I'm using the Zabbix only. Okay. Then what else? Okay. Under Kubernetes, I'm some of the service I'm going to teach. Okay. Under Kubernetes, 4 to 5 classes. Okay. So that is for the clustering purpose. Then apart from this, under AWS, we are going to teach some of the services here. Okay. Under that, we'll be having the EC2 instances. Okay. Then VPC, that is a virtual private cloud. Then storage. Okay. Under storage, you'll find all types, different types of storages there. Okay. Then load balancer. Then auto scaling. Okay. So these are all the tools which I'm going to cover in my regular sessions, guys. Okay. Can we re-attend the class if we miss any lecture? Yeah, sure. You will get the your recorded session to your Google Drive, guys. Okay, no issues. And to create a project implementing all the tools. Yeah, in the end of the our session, we will do the CI/CD process, guys. Okay. Fine. Any other doubts? Is these tools are open source? Yeah, 90% are open source only. How many days to cover? Roughly around 2 to 2.5 months, guys. Zaira is not there, guys. Okay. Yeah, S3 comes under storage. In a AWS storage, you'll find the S3 bucket. Azure and AWS, which one is good? Both are same only, guys. They both are having the same their own market. We can't predict also. Any other doubts? Timing this one, Durga Soft will update you people. Okay. Yeah, usually it was a 9 to 10 p.m. only, but they will update. They will update the timings. Is it clear, guys? Any other doubts? DevOps, there is a having a huge market, guys. Okay. It's a good package also. If you want to do on trial and error, you can put your CV saying that you are on a DevOps. Okay. So you will also come to know how many calls you will get it in a single day. Okay. There are n number of openings is there for DevOps. And at the end of our session, I will share the interview recordings as well, guys. Okay. I have some of the interview recordings with me with the top MNCs. Okay. I will share those recordings so that it will be easy to crack the interview for you people, as well as the resume also. Okay. Yes, guys, we are going to cover the complete CI/CD process for QA resource change to DevOps is a good option. Yeah, it's better, guys. Okay, DevOps, I mean QA, this developers, everybody is migrating to DevOps now. Sorry, developers. Okay, guys, no issues. Okay, guys, if you know questions, what about certification in DevOps? There is no particular certification available, guys, in the market now for DevOps, but you can do it on independent tools, guys. Okay, like Docker, okay, like Kubernetes, Ansible. On individual tools, you can perform. It depends on your interest. Anything else? Now, organization OpenShift is used instead of AWS. OpenShift is very good, guys. Okay, that is supported by the Red Hat. It depends on different organization. Okay, in my organization, we are using the Azure DevOps. Exam scenarios, no ways. Okay, so it is professional course, not related to the exam here. Terraform, I'm not teaching that. Okay. Okay, then we'll wind up this if you don't have any queries. Okay, rest of the things you coordinate with the Durga soft. Okay, they will update you. Yeah, audio issues, extremely sorry, guys. Okay, so we don't know what's happened suddenly in the starting. At what time we start tomorrow? Tomorrow. Okay, so timings and all, Durga soft will update you people. Okay, they will drop a mail. Okay, still it is not confirmed. Okay, hence I'm saying. So once it is confirmed, I will update you. Okay, they will drop a mail to you and as well as they will call you people. Okay. When we learn this course, how much experience we should put in our resume? We can put 3 to 4 years, guys, no issues. Any other questions? Fine, guys. Then tomorrow, sorry, not tomorrow. Because I will update you guys regarding the next sessions and all. Okay. Bye, guys. Good night. Have a good day.